Well, hello enemies of book lovers. My name is Ash and welcome back to my channel. We are here for the July TBR. Yes, it's July. Oh my god. Hopefully the second half of the year is kind to us and we get some amazing reads. So far, I don't really have anything to tell you about, nothing to really talk about. There's only one thing that I can briefly mention, and that is as I go around my board game, I'm actually going to be rolling a d6 instead of a d8. I want to give my spots a better chance at landing on them, so I'm going to change this from a d8 to go around the board to a d6, so there's a higher chance of landing on things. I really want to land on Roll for Reads, which is my new tile right here and here. So I just want to get one of these because I've been wanting to for a while now, and no dice so far. No pun intended. Actually, kind of was a pun intended. With that all being said, let's get into our spinner wheel to decide if I get to add a roll, if I need to redo a roll, whatever it is. See if I get any changes for my board in the month of July, and if not, we'll come right back. So let's see what I get for my spinner wheel. All right, let's place the pylon. So, okay, that's not bad. You know what? I've only landed on this like once, so let's see if I actually get it. All right, the actual spin for my game is, yay, we got a safe spin. We're gonna do 5 rolls for the month of July. Okay, so far it has been nice to me. I got a safe spot, 5 rolls, that's all we're doing, nothing added, so this is a pretty good sign so far. Let's move on now to the TBR board game and see what we're going to be getting for my prompts. I'm so excited. I love doing this so much. If I could do this all the time, I would, but it's not realistic. Let's get to the board game and let's see what our first prompt's going to be. First roll is, oh my god. 1, 2, 3, 4. We got Roll for Reads. Okay, I'm so excited. Let's get onto that and see what I end up getting. We are here with my first ever Roll for Reads. I'm very excited about this one. I'm gonna do left side first, so horizontal, and then I'll do vertical. So my horizontal will be the white and red die, and the vertical will be my blue and white die. So horizontal first, and see what it's going to be. A 5, so let's put that right there. So something in this row. And then the second one is our vertical, a 4, which is, has to be perfect. There you go. A book with a red cover. This shouldn't be too hard. Red isn't too bad. It's better than yellow. So a book with a red on the cover. Guys, we got Roll for Reads and I'm so excited. I mean, nothing like that exciting for the prompt, but I don't care. I'm just so happy that I actually got this prompt and actually got this tile. And for this one, we got to read a book with a red cover. For this one, I'm going to be a little bit of a hypocrite because I did mention like 1 or 2 months ago that I don't really like to bring books from my other TBR into this TBR for my TBR game, but this is like the perfect book and I didn't get around to it. I really want to get to it. It was a TBR jar for June and I never got to it. So I really want to pick up for a red cover, Scarlet Veil by Shelby Mahurin. Again, I wanted to read this in June. I never got around to it. I read almost every single thing on my TBR. All the books. I think I read like 7 or 8 books in June, which is crazy because I read only 2 books in May. And I only didn't get to this one. This is the only one. So I'm going to put it in for my red cover because this is like a predominantly red cover. You can't really tell because it's a library copy and it is blinding you. Yeah, it is. Regardless, this is going to be my red cover for the month. I'm not going to talk too much about it because I talked about it last month, but there have been a number of people being found not alive anymore, and the main character goes and follows this lead to see where this is coming from, finds out it is a place with vampires, and the Vampire King is there, and I'm going to assume it's a romance between her and the Vampire King, and there's also a fiance that she has, so I don't know what that's all about. Like, is he a bad person because she's probably gonna have to cheat on him? I don't know what's going on in that regard, but I didn't get to it in June. I'm very excited to get to it. It's like a paranormal fantasy romance, so I'm all for it. This is the only book that is from June, so every single other book in this video will be non-reoccurring. Let's move on now to roll number 2. 3. 1, 2, flip a coin or horror thriller. I think I'm gonna go with flip a coin just to be safer, but I might put, we'll see. Let me just do flip a coin. I want to go through my series, so let's just go to this direction. All right, we got a new Pokemon token. We got Larry from Pokemon, which is like the biggest mood of a trainer I've ever seen in my life. Anyway, we have 2 options, of course, for flipping a coin. We have A Light in the Flame by Jennifer L. Armentrout, which I've had on TBR in the past multiple times. Let's not talk about that. And then we have from Pencoal Glow of the Everflame. So 2 600+ page books. This is 610 and this is 652. So there's not really enough of a difference that I care. They're almost the same amount of pages. Glow of the Everflame has a head on the cover, so I'm just gonna do heads as Glow of the Everflame and tails as Light in the Flame because there's a wolf on the cover. I'm gonna try flipping it again this time and see if I actually do it correctly. Okay, it flipped multiple times. I will count that one. I'm going to be reading Glow of the Everflame, and I'm actually really excited about it, so let's talk about it. For book number 2, we got Flip a Coin. For Flip a Coin, I chose either the next, like, From Blood and Ash series, which I haven't even, I was supposed to read that months ago, and I never got to it. So, anyway. The Flesh and Fire series, it was either that or the next book in the Spark of the Everflame series by Penn Cole, and I got Glow of the Everflame by Penn Cole. This is a heavy book. Like, this is heavy. This is 600 pages, which is a pretty reasonable size, especially because the Scarlet Veil is also around 600 pages. Let me check, actually. This is 630 pages, and this is 600 pages. We already have 1,200 pages, and it's in 2 books. Anyway, let's put them down for a second. Again, this is the second book, and I don't know if it's actually called Spark of the Everflame series. I don't know the name of the series, but I'm just going to call it that for now. This is the second one. I think there are 4 books total. The last book I think is coming out September, so this is kind of like the perfect time. I kind of want to read it as it's still kind of fresh in my mind. I only read the first book, I think around 2 months ago, so again, it's good to have it fresh in my brain. Also, I don't love DM. I kind of always make fun of her. DM is the main character. She's the main protagonist in this book. She is very, very, She is the most unaware female protagonist I've ever read in a book, even more than Bella Swan, and that's pretty impressive. I keep forgetting what the actual synopsis of this book is, even the first book, even though I read the book, but like something to do with DM, and there's obviously like a mystery of what's going on around her and her family, and she gets the eye of the Fae Prince, and things happen. I liked the romance. I liked aspects of it. Yes, DM is annoying, but I actually think she will get better. I actually expect and really hope for character development, so I have faith in her. On the back, it says, "I am your sword. Point me at your enemies and watch them fall." I kind of like that. I kind of like that though. This is a romantasy series, very popular. And again, the last book is coming out this year after a long awaited time. I think people have been waiting like 1 or 2 years for the last book. So I kind of started it at a very good time. If I had to wait, I'd be very impatient right now. So everyone that waited, I'm very happy for you. I'm very glad I didn't have to wait though. Let's move on now to the third roll and see what the prompt is going to be. 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh my god. I did say on a finished series. Okay. Reading a next book in a series from what I was reading last month. Okay, next book in a series. Now this one is different than a series tile. This prompt is to continue a book from a series that you read last month. So if I read a series last month, or like a book from a series, I have to continue that series into this month. And now I usually don't read my books back to back when it comes to my series, so this is like a one to kind of hold me accountable and to do this more often. Now I used to not like doing this, but now I kind of like to do that. I like to read my books closer together, so this is perfect for me, and I read a lot of series last month. So this is like, again, perfect. I read a lot in June, and I read a lot of series, and I have like, I think like 3 or 4 to choose from, but I put it down to 2. I don't know which one of these 2 yet, because I'm still reading 1 or 2 more books by the end of the month. So I don't want to, you know, put an exact book for this prompt. So I'm gonna put 2 options, and I'll choose from one of those 2 as I progress through July. Now the first one is the one I think I'm going to be most likely choosing. I don't know 100% yet, but I think this one will be the one I choose ultimately, and that is Bitter Blue by Kristen Kishore. First of all, these covers are gorgeous, and I just finished the second book literally today. I read Fire today. I gave it a 4.5, rounding it to a 5. I adored it. So Fire, which is the second book, weirdly enough is a prequel to book 1, which I don't really understand why they did that. I finished the book. I don't really know why they decided to do that, but again, maybe there's a reason. I just don't know what that is right now. Bitter Blue is 8 years after book 1. I can't really talk about anything what this one's about, but this one I think follows a different character in each book, although they're all interconnected. They all have characters that are around each other. So like you'll see Bitter Blue is a character from another book. I won't tell you what book, but that is a recurring character, and I really liked her, so I'm really excited to see her a little bit older and grown up. So I'm really looking forward to that. I feel like all these books kind of have like a very high fantasy aspect with a very small subplot of romance. I adore the romance. Fire, I loved the romance in Fire. It was such a good slow burn. It was, again, primarily focusing on the fantasy. I would not call this romantasy, and all of these books so far have a subplot of romance with a very high forward aspect of fantasy, and there are characters called Gracelings who have 2 different eye colors, and they have different powers. I talked about it multiple times in the past few months. I'm not gonna talk too much about it again because, again, I don't want to be too redundant. I also think reading this book in 2026 is just as good as it would be back then. It doesn't feel like it really like aged badly. I think that it's still good to go into, although there are a lot of adult topics. This is a YA series, but goodness gracious, there are a lot of like adult topics, so I definitely recommend this for like older YA audiences. not younger teenagers. Oh my gosh. And the other option, again, I might not read it. It depends on how I feel about The Unseen Heir. I'm currently reading The Unseen Heir, and if I like it, I might continue the series. And if I continue the series, I'll be moving on to The Hidden Queen. This is by Kenley Davidson. I mentioned this series before. This is following a new couple. Like I mentioned, this is like a interconnected fantasy series going by twos, so I read the first 2 books. This is the 3rd book. This is going to be following a different couple for the series, and I don't know if I'm going to be liking book 2. I'm currently in the middle of it. I'm 25% through it. I like it. I don't know if I want to continue the series, but if I want to continue the series, this will be the one for me. This is also a romantasy. So again, I don't know what it's about, but it's fantasy romance and having a good time with the first 2. I will see if I like the second one or not. Hopefully I like it more than the first, but we'll find out soon. So if I like book 2, which is I'm currently reading, I will continue to this book, and if I don't like it, I will continue with Bitter Blue instead, but I want to give myself an option that's smaller. For example, Bitter Blue is 576 pages. That's my 3rd book. That's almost 600 pages. So this one's a nicer option because it's only 346 pages. It's a lot kinder for me, so if I want to go a little bit smaller of a book, I'm going to choose this one instead. With only 2 rolls left, let's move on to roll number 4. Another 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Library. All right, I mean, easy, a little too easy, but I'm not complaining. Roll number 4 gave us a library book. I usually try to go with something that's a little more interesting than just getting a library book, but I kind of want to give myself some slack again, so I'm just going to go with a library book. Just a library, that's it. And for this one, I wanted to do it something a little bit different for myself, and that's a reread. I don't reread very often. This is my first reread of all of 2026. I don't think I've even reread any books last year. Like, it's very rare. I do it less than a handful of times a year, so like 5 or less. So this is pretty uncommon, but the last time I read this book, I think this was in 2022, I think it was. Yes, 4 years ago is when I first read this book, and I want to give it another try. And that is Delilah Green Doesn't Care by Aisling Herring Blake. Aisling, did I say? That's my own name. How did I mess that up? Let's try that again. Take 2. And that is Delilah Green Doesn't Care by Aisling. Take 3. And that is Delilah Green Doesn't Care by Ashley Herring Blake. There we go. I did it. This is a sapphic romance, and this is actually the first sapphic romance I ever read, and the reason why I'm rereading it is because when I first read it, I was kind of like discovering my sexuality. I don't know what that really matters, but like for some reason to me it makes a lot of a difference now. Now that I'm more open, I'm pan-romantic, I'm very much open to these things now. Not that I wasn't before. It wasn't like, okay, listen, I'm not trying to say that I didn't like sapphic books or that I didn't support them. When I kind of discovered more about my sexuality, I kind of thought myself, I'm more open to things now, and now I'm kind of more interested in reading this book and seeing if I like it more than the first time. I gave it 3 stars the first time, and I genuinely want to try it again. So Delilah comes down to take photographs of her stepsister's wedding, and it's not a really good relationship. Like the bride and the groom are a little bit, you know, rocky, but she goes anyway to take pictures, and when she's there, she meets Astrid. Hi, it's editing me here. I kept calling Claire Astrid. Astrid is her stepsister. Delilah's stepsister is called Astrid. The love interest for her is Claire. I'm so sorry. Every single time I say Astrid, just pretend I'm saying Claire instead. I'm editing this the day before it comes out, and I only realized it now. So apologies. Astrid is her stepsister. Let's just pretend I was saying Claire. I remember that she met Astrid, I think it was like at the bar, but she meets Astrid, and Delilah likes to have fun. She sleeps around a little bit, and so when she meets Astrid, I guess she tries to like have some fun with her. I like the meet cute. I remember liking the meet cute. Also, Astrid has a daughter, so this is a single mom romance. I love that. I love single parent romances. It's just so wholesome. I'm looking forward to going back into this again. It's been a long time. It's, well, 4 years, but it feels like a long time, okay? But since then, I've read a lot of books, so maybe I'll like it. I don't know if I'll read book 2. I think I've heard mixed things about book 2, but at least I'm going to reread this one. I want to try it, and I'm very excited. I want to read more sapphic books, so I'm going to go back into this and then maybe try other ones in the future, especially like fantasy ones. I want to do that. So yeah, if you have any fantasy sapphic recs, please let me know in the comments. I have a few already written down, but if you have any more, please let me know. Now let's move on to my 5th and final roll. Final roll. That is a... oh my gosh. I didn't want to try roll for reads, but we got it twice in one game. All right, roll for reads again. Let's see what I get for this one. I cannot believe we got this twice in one game. I was excited to get one time, but now we get it twice. Let's do the same thing we did last time. Horizontal and vertical. So let's start with our white one first. A 4 this time. I like how it fits perfectly. I didn't even intend to make it like this, but it just perfectly aligns. And then we're going to do our vertical one. a 3. That is, oh my god, a blue cover. Okay, I got 2 color cover prompts. All right, so a book with blue on the cover, which also shouldn't be too difficult. Okay, we got roll for reads again, but we got another cover color, which is wild. Like, oh, what are the chances of getting that? And this one is to read a book with blue on the cover. It doesn't have to be the main part of it, but it has to be prevalent. I really want to get around to this one. And that is The Running Man by Stephen King. I'm really excited to actually be reading books I own, because then I can unhaul them if I don't love them. So I will see if I like this one. I haven't heard much about The Running Man. I've heard a lot about other Stephen King books. This is originally written by Richard Bachman, which is like the pseudonym for Stephen King, and obviously, I don't really know much about this one. I haven't heard any information on this. Like, I don't really hear anyone talking about this one. If you liked it, please let me know. Or if you didn't like it, please let me know. I don't mind either. Or without spoilers, of course. But this one sounds really, really cool. I love reality TV. Like, reality TV is my favorite kind of TV show. So when I heard about this one, I was so excited when I read the synopsis of it. This is following Ben Richards. He's not doing really well financially. He has a sick daughter and he wants to get her treatment in the hospitals. And in doing so, he obviously has to get a lot of money to do that. So he can't really afford to do that. Instead, he goes into a reality TV show called The Running Man. The Running Man is a show where you can win $8 billion, which sounds amazing, right? Well, there is a catch, and that is if you want to get the $8 billion, you have to survive for 30 days, a whole month, where you are pretty much being hunted the entire time by a military service, and if you survive, you get the money. But no one has survived longer than, I think it was like 8 days, so no one in the history of this show has survived longer than a week and a bit, and Ben Richards is going to be the first person to try and attempt to succeed in it so he can get money for his daughter and financial stability and all that. I'm not going to say I'm very optimistic for Ben Richards, but you know what? Maybe it'll happen. Maybe he'll win. I don't know. I also read The Long Walk. I'm reading these chronologically, and Long Walk was really cool. It kind of reminds me of this a little bit, so I liked the concepts of that book, and I'm curious if I'll like this one. I mean, it's probably going to be him mostly just running and trying to get away from the men that are trying to hunt him down, but again, he's trying to run away, he's being hunted, and he has to survive for a whole month, which sounds crazy. It kind of reminds me of that, what's that show called? My mom used to watch it all the time. Where it was like Manhunters, I think it was called, and they weren't actually being hunted in real, it was like fake, but they had to like go in the forest and survive and get to the finish line without being found by the Manhunters. I remember that one in my childhood, honestly. My parents used to watch that and I used to be forced to watch it. It was kind of good, actually. Now I think about it, it was actually kind of good. That reminds me of this book a lot, so I think it sounds interesting. Again, I love reality TV shows, so maybe it'll be good. Maybe it'll be fun. I don't know. Let me know if you liked it or not. But regardless, I want to try this, and it's my next book chronologically on the list. So I'm going to be reading The Running Man by Stephen King for my blue cover. I mean, I would say there's enough blue on this cover to count. It's literally in the name of Stephen King, and it's all around here, so I'm going to say it counts. It's like green and blue, so I think this is enough. I'm gonna count it. So that is going to be my 5th and final book for this video. It feels like it went by so fast, and I'm kind of sad. Honestly, I've only been filming for 30 minutes, and usually I'm already at like the 40-minute mark. I'm talking really fast. I film in the evening now, where I have more energy, so maybe that's why, instead of the mornings. With all of those, I'm not adding any other books. I probably have space and wiggle room, but I'm gonna try not to add any books to this. The reason why, though, is because I want to do my romance raffle, so there's like another 1,000 pages to add to this if I add on my romance books. So I'm not counting that to the page count for this month, but it does equal to being way more than the actual number is for this month. So yeah, I'm gonna give myself a little bit of space so I can read my romance raffle books, so I can make a video on that. But for this month, for the month of July, for the ones I'm aware of, this will be what I'm going to be reading. There's 5 different books, 2 options, of course, for the next in a series. So the page count just for these books ranges from 2,373 to 2,603. But yeah, you should be seeing other huge books coming up in the next coming months. I will say I might have a Sanderson book on my August TBR. I'm already planning on it, so we'll see if I actually end up doing that or not. But yeah, we have some big books on these lists, but I'm happy to be continuing my series, hopefully finishing some series. I've already finished like 3 series in June, so I need to keep my ball rolling and just keep going and finishing series, because I'm really enjoying my time doing that and not starting many series, because I kind of getting a little overwhelmed by starting too many. So I really enjoyed the fact that I'm actually continuing more than I'm starting. If you want to show your support for being amazing and watching my video, put a camera emoji in the comments below. There's like one where it's actually taking a picture and one that's not, but to commemorate Delilah in her photography, and also from my past when I did photography, well, as a hobby, not professionally, put a camera emoji down below. If you wish to tell me any books that you're planning on reading, how June went, anything like that, please go ahead and do so. I always love talking to you guys. You guys make my day a little bit brighter, so thank you for being a part of that. And with that being all said, have a great day, have an amazing reading month in the month of July, and I hope to see you all soon. Goodbye, everyone.